Welcome back to Honorado and Company. It's Chris Honorado, and it is a musical star, Niki Metcalf, with us here, who is going to play the lead in Hairspray, coming to Proctors Theater December 6th through the 11th. Niki, congratulations. Thanks for doing the show. What was it like? I kind of probably ask the same question to everybody when they get a big role like this, but what was it like when you got the call that you officially got the role? Take me back to that. Was it a phone call that you got?
Yeah. It was actually an email. But it was still just as surreal. I mean, I've wanted to play Tracy Turnblad for as long as I can remember. I'll bring you back to 6th grade. I was at Grantee Morris Elementary in Saugerties, New York, where I grew up. And I wanted to sing live. We had this sort of talent show for the 6th graders. It was called Lip Sync. And we would all pick songs to lip sync to, but I decided as an aspiring performer, I wanted to sing live. I decided to sing Good Morning Baltimore and fully dress up as Tracy. And it was the first time I sung the song in front of an audience. It was the first time it was one of the first times I sang in front of a full audience. First song I brought to my voice teacher, and now circling back, it's a full circle moment, not only to be singing Good Morning Baltimore across the country to audiences, but now to be bringing it home kind of to where I started, and maybe some of the same people who were in the audience when I was in 6th grade are now going to see me do it. You see I'm stumbling on words because I'm just so excited and thankful, and I can't believe we're actually kind of coming home for me.
What will it be like to, you mentioned Saugerties, it's not even 50 miles south of Albany, probably even closer to Schenectady than that, to the theater itself. What will that be like to know that, you've been in New York, so it's not like people can't travel south to the city, but you feel a little more of a homecoming in this regard. What will that be like, knowing that you will have so many hometown fans, if you will, in the seats?
It's absolutely surreal. I mean, the amount of love and support that I have been getting from my friends and family at home that are just excited to come and see it. A lot of them, it'll be their first time coming to see our show. And I've been on the road doing this incredible musical for a year now. So to be able to bring it home is something I'm still pinching myself about. I cannot believe I get to be so lucky. I grew up going to Proctors and seeing touring shows, and I got to go backstage with someone I went to college with who was in the Wicked National Tour that I happened to go see, and now I get to be on that stage and be doing it in my own right. It's amazing.
So then, and I think people who I'm from northern New Jersey and would go into the city to see Broadway shows. And then you think about Proctors Theater or any kind of local theater, I'll call it, and it can't be it's as good. The production is incredible. You've gone to shows at Proctors, that it's going to be one absolute heck of a show. Hairspray, December 6th. Through 11th here. Okay, you see, because you've been touring, I'll start with a positive here. What's the best part of touring?
The best part of touring is getting to share this story to so many people. I mean, it's a story I believe in so much. It's about bringing people together, communities together, sharing the love for each other and each other's life experiences and following dreams. And I think it's something that every audience member can relate to. And it's definitely something that inspired me growing up. I mean, I grew up watching the 88 John Waters film and the 2007 movie. I saw the Broadway production when I was little. It was, Hairspray has always kind of been a part of my life. And this is the 20th year of Hairspray the musical existing. So it's amazing to be bringing this story that I believe in so much to audiences across America. That's definitely the best part.
I mean, it's a musical that won 8 Tonys back in 2003, including Best Musical. It had an incredible run on the Broadway stage, and then you mentioned it, 2 movies, one in 88, one in 2007. Yep. Okay,
and
so
the live as well.
And the live on NBC. How could I forget that? Yes. My gosh, Newschannel 13, NBC. How could I possibly forget that? You're right. Okay, that's the best part of touring. What's the worst part of touring?
I mean, I kind of love touring life. It is It is tiring
Hard.
sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of our days off are our travel days. So it's not a lot of time off. You find time to sleep and rest and you figure out your balance. But I'm kind of someone who doesn't like sitting in one place for too long doing
Okay.
one thing. So I love having the constant of a show that I love and really believe in,
Yeah.
while also getting to, you know, kind of live in a different town each week, or even some weeks, several towns. So I think it is tiring, of course, but it is a really fulfilling experience.
How do you keep the voice rested and fresh?
A lot of rest, a lot of rest. I mean, you'll ask my cast members, I'll want to hang out and spend time, but I really have to pick and choose when I'm able to do that, just to be able to do this show every night,
Yeah.
because Tracy Turnblad is on stage basically the entire time. And I don't take that lightly. I want to be on and be my best for every single performance and every single audience member. So, you know, it's a lot of balance. It's something I'm still learning after now a year of being on tour with this
Mm.
production. Something I'm still learning, but it's balancing rest for sure.
We had a chance to talk with some of the cast members of Aladdin, which just
Yeah.
came through Schenectady and Proctors too. And Marcus Martin, who is playing the genie, told me that in order to try to mimic what was required of his performance, he would sing on the treadmill. Do you
Yeah.
have any strange practices that allows you to sing and dance and do all of that at once?
Sure. I mean, luckily, after a year of doing it, it's just kind of, it's gotten easier every time. I cannot say it is easy by any means, but I do remember leading up to rehearsals, I would, you know, use a bike. I was dog sitting at my cousin's house and I was biking and watching a bootleg of the show on
Yeah.
YouTube. And I was going along, you know, very similar to what he did. It's, you know, theater is a funny thing. It's very athletic, especially this show. It's, you know, based in the 60s, all upbeat,
Uh-huh.
you know, incredible music, but very upbeat, very athletic. So you kind of have to train for that in a sense. So definitely, I definitely have had that.
Yeah. Um, all right. You said you like to rest your voice or find ways to rest your voice. I read that you know sign language.
Yeah.
Do you still keep that up? And can you sign something for me that is hairspray related?
So I actually got to meet this past week in Columbus. I got to meet some of the interpreters that interpret for our show. I'll tell you a funny story. I actually it's been a few years since I've done it full out.
Yeah.
I definitely am rusty and I definitely want to take the time to get back up with it because I think it's such a beautiful, important language and I do want to incorporate it into my career in the future. But I actually got to meet some of the Columbus ASL interpreters for our show and I actually got to learn Good Morning Baltimore. It was great. And they actually had name signs for the characters.
Uh-huh.
And name signs are sort of like nicknames, so you don't have to spell out every single time a character is mentioned. You don't have to, you know, finger sign everything. So they actually made Tracy with a T, Tracy because of the hair, and Edna because she is played by a drag queen, Nina
Yep.
West, Andrew
Yep.
Levitt. They actually had Edna, and the sign for drag queen is something like this, but
Okay.
it's with an E. So they had that. They had a name sign, and it can be different for each production. It's funny. I have caught myself once being so focused on the interpreters that I actually took a second to say my line because I was so focused on how wonderful they are. Uh,
That's
but yes,
amazing.
it's something I still am very passionate about, and I always am so excited when we have interpreted performances.
What made you want to learn it in the first place?
I think I've always kind of been interested, and I think it's just a beautiful language in itself. I saw Deaf West production of Spring
Mm.
Awakening. I forget the year, but it was back when I was in college, and incorporating sign language into theater is something that I was really excited about. So it's always been a little dream of mine, you know, if I get back and I keep up with my sign language, you know, maybe I can be a part of that as well, incorporating, both.
Signing, maybe I'm not remembering far enough back, but during all the COVID press conferences, it was like you couldn't help but watch the person who was signing, and now they're part of every single political presidential press conference. It is. Go ahead.
I'm very glad for that, because it is so important to have that representation and to have so, I mean, I think it should be a given for everything. And I'm so glad that more light is being shown on the deaf community. And I think it is just such a beautiful and expressive language. And I think it ties with theater pretty well because of that, of the comparison of just expressing. So yeah, I definitely look forward to taking the time to really get back into it, because I do have a minor in it from college. So I love it.
The automated closed captioning runs on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. They can never get honorado right. So, yeah, I'll take signing over the automated closed captioning any day of the week for sure.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Well, listen, I'm going to let you rest your voice. Here has to be the goal, though, right? And I'm not going to set your own personal goals, but I'll say it anyway. You're from Saugerties.
Yes.
Jimmy Fallon graduated from Saugerties High.
Yes, he did.
Let's at some point, right? You need to be featured on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
That's it. Absolutely. I completely agree. Jimmy Fallon, if you were listening, I would love to be on your show. I would be honored. Saugerties natives.
Right.
Let's do this.
You know it. And we know people in high places, so I've got my T-shirt ready to go.
Gosh.
Shout out to the Proctors staff for hooking us up with that. It's I can't wait to see the show. Congratulations on the role, and I hope we'll meet in person when you're in town. But enjoy your homecoming either way, Niki. I so appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us here. Go follow her on Instagram right now. You see the info bottom of your screen. Niki, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.